Actors often give everything they have to bring their characters to life, but some roles leave marks that go far beyond the screen. These performances push stars to their absolute limits through extreme physical transformations, dangerous stunts, emotional breakdowns, and lingering psychological effects. Some walked away with awards, others with lasting scars, and a few were forever changed by the experience. Anne Hathaway's transformation into Fantine in Les Miserables earned her an Academy Award, but the role left a lasting impact far beyond the screen. To portray the dying factory worker, she underwent extreme physical changes and pushed herself to emotional depths she had never experienced before. After filming ended, Hathaway admitted she struggled to return to a sense of normalcy, feeling overwhelmed by the chaos of everyday life. It took her weeks to recover and feel like herself again. Johnny Depp's preparation for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas went far beyond method acting. He practically became Hunter S. Thompson. To capture the legendary journalist's voice, mannerisms, and chaotic energy, Depp moved into Thompson's basement and lived alongside him for weeks, studying every detail of his lifestyle. By the time filming began, his transformation was so complete that cast and crew worried he had gone too deep into the role. Even a year after production ended, he was still stuck in Thompson mode, struggling to separate himself from the character. Charlie Hunnam's years of acting in American roles had an unexpected side effect. He almost lost his natural British accent. After spending so much time in the US and mastering various American dialects for his characters, his real-life speech became a mix of different accents that even confused audiences back home. By the time he signed on for King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, Hunnam realized he needed professional help to regain his original voice and hired a dialect coach to relearn how to speak proper British English. Keira Knightley was just 17 when she starred as Elizabeth Swann in Pirates of the Caribbean, a role that catapulted her to instant fame. But the sudden spotlight came with a heavy cost. The overwhelming attention and constant criticism triggered severe anxiety and even led to PTSD, forcing her to step away from acting for a year. At one point, she isolated herself at home for 3 months to avoid the paparazzi. Even after returning to work and earning an Oscar nomination, she continued battling panic attacks and imposter syndrome, eventually undergoing hypnotherapy just to manage red carpet events. Dylan O'Brien's work on Maze Runner, The Death Cure nearly ended his career and almost his life. While performing a stunt in 2016, he was thrown from one vehicle and struck by another, suffering a concussion and severe facial fractures. Production shut down, and he spent 6 months in recovery, unsure if he'd ever act again. The accident left him in a fragile state, both physically and emotionally, as he faced the possibility of stepping away from Hollywood forever. But O'Brien fought his way back, slowly rebuilding his confidence and returning to the screen. The experience left lasting scars, but also gave him a deeper appreciation for life and the people closest to him. Arnold Schwarzenegger's iconic Austrian accent is one of the most recognizable in Hollywood, but here's the twist: he doesn't actually need it anymore. After moving to the US, Schwarzenegger spent hours training with renowned dialect coach Robert Easton to perfect his English and improve his pronunciation. Over the years, he mastered speaking without the accent, but he chooses to keep it because fans love it and expect to hear it in his roles. The voice that became his trademark wasn't an accident. It's a deliberate choice that shaped his career and cemented his identity as one of Hollywood's most memorable action stars. Bill Skarsgård's chilling transformation into Pennywise in it terrified audiences, but the role also haunted him long after filming ended. To bring the sinister clown to life, he immersed himself so deeply in the character that letting go became nearly impossible. After production wrapped, Skarsgård revealed that Pennywise lingered in his subconscious, invading his dreams and causing recurring nightmares for months. Skarsgård delivered an unforgettable performance, but escaping Pennywise proved far harder than becoming him. Jennifer Carpenter's experience filming The Exorcism of Emily Rose didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. The horror followed her home. After playing the terrifying role, she revealed that strange, unexplained events began happening at night. On several occasions, her radio suddenly turned on by itself while she was trying to sleep, blasting Pearl Jam's Alive at full volume. Co-star Laura Linney even reported her TV switching on by itself during the same period. Val Kilmer's transformation into Jim Morrison for The Doors went far beyond typical preparation. It consumed him completely. To embody the rock icon, Kilmer learned to sing 50 of the Doors' songs, spent hours studying Morrison's performances, and immersed himself in interviews to capture his voice and mannerisms perfectly. On set, even the crew began calling him Jim, and by the end of filming, many couldn't distinguish Kilmer's singing from Morrison's. But becoming Morrison so deeply came at a cost. After filming wrapped, Kilmer revealed he needed therapy to separate himself from the character. Diane Kruger's role in Special Forces went far beyond acting. It transformed how she saw the world. To prepare for playing a French reporter kidnapped by terrorists, she spent 4 months researching and interviewing real female journalists who had survived abductions. Hearing their stories left a lasting impact, changing her perspective on life and giving her a deep respect for the risks journalists take to report the truth. The emotional weight of those conversations stayed with Kruger long after filming ended, making Special Forces one of the most personally transformative roles of her career. Kit Harington's rise to fame as Jon Snow on Game of Thrones came with an unexpected cost. Over 8 seasons, the pressure of carrying one of television's biggest shows began to take a toll on his mental health, especially around the time his character died and was brought back. Harington eventually started therapy, but continued to struggle, even after the series ended. Following the final season, he checked into a wellness retreat to focus on recovery, dealing with stress, exhaustion, and personal challenges. Hugh Laurie's transformation into Dr. Gregory House on House was so convincing that it left a lasting impact on his real life. To perfect the role, he not only mastered an American accent so well that producers believed he was American, but he also committed to portraying House's signature limp for the entirety of the show's 8-season run. Laurie walked with the limp so consistently on set that it eventually affected his own gait off-screen. Even after the series ended, he found himself still walking unevenly, a habit developed from years of embodying the character. Liv Tyler's experience filming The Strangers was so intense that the fear followed her off set and into her real life. Many of her terrified reactions in the film were genuine, as the suspenseful home invasion scenes blurred the line between acting and reality. Tyler admitted that after shooting, she found herself getting unnerved in her own home, jumping at every small noise at night and questioning whether she was brave enough to investigate. Kumail Nanjiani's role as Kingo in Marvel's Eternals was supposed to be a career highlight, but the film's negative reception hit him harder than expected. When the movie received poor reviews, Nanjiani admitted he became obsessed with reading every critique and checking reactions constantly. The constant focus on public opinion began taking a toll on his mental health and his personal life, leading him to start therapy. Even now, he still talks about the experience with his therapist, working through the pressure and disappointment.